So here you can see there is a box. If I click it, it expands like this, and this can happen like this. This is the HTML file. Here you can see the div that contains all these 5 boxes. Each of this starter is the box that I click on. Here you can see some classes I made here for each of the boxes, except the starter one. Starter one doesn't change. If I click here, you can see these new classes gets added when I click on it, and when I remove it, while you can see there is a uh, br classes, br0, br1, and so on, that gets added when the slide goes back, and then they are removed again. So here you can see these classes. They're similar to each other. The difference between each of the classes is in the z index, transform, and transition, and color. In the br classes, you can see the uh, translate y is 0 in each of these. b1 is corresponding to the br1. br0 is corresponding to the br0, and so on. And they get activated when you close, when you do this. So, and here you can see this is the var t. This variable is in the conditioning of the for loops in different places. In the starter bt, which is this button that I click on, this one gets this element. This is not a button actually, this is the div element. Yes, this is a div element. On click of the div element, this function gets activated. So in this, if and here in the if conditioning, you can see this get element by id and this lowercase b0, which is the id of the element here, and the uppercase class, this is being compared with the uppercase b0 class. If it doesn't have that, so if the element does not have its corresponding class that I made in the css file, if it doesn't already have that, then this for loop will execute. And if it does have that, right, if it does have that class, then this for loop will execute. And this timeout, in the set timeout, there's a br cleaner which activates and removes the br functions. I can come back to that or talk about that later. Document.get element by id. In here you can see this is the t. T is starts from 0 and it stops before it reaches 4 at 3. Okay. And it adds a class to, where is it? Yeah, there it is. It takes each element id from 0 to 3, and it adds the corresponding 0 to 3 classes b, and each of this, you can see that this one starts with this b lowercase and this is the b uppercase. So, and else if the class, there is a class on click, there is a class. So right now the classes aren't there. If I click here, the classes are now active. So now if the class is already there like this, what will happen if I click again? It removes it. So for removing it, you can use this. It can take the ID from 0 to 4 like that with the for loop, and then class list dot remove. You you remove the corresponding B classes, and then there is the add. Why did I add the BR class here? Well, I when I tried this, if I say, let's say, remove it and save this, you can see that I did this and then it just does this. So there is no transition back to for going back here. So to do that, I added another class. Um, oops, that is. So I added another class for making this transition when it goes back, and for that there's this bear class, which again corresponds to the lower B classes, and this is the, yeah. But if I don't use this bear cleaner function, what can happen is that when I added the bear functions, it does not get removed even after when it goes back there. So after going back there, for that uh, I want to remove the bear classes that I created here, bear3 and so on. So to remove that, this is the for loop I used. Here you can see that again removing the bear classes, and this set timeout clean starts this function after 800 millisecond. Why 800 millisecond? It is because the transition of uh, here the bear3 transition, here you can see 800 seconds. So if the after the transition completes, it goes back completely, then the classes gets removed by this for loop. Yeah, this is the highest transition here among the 4 bears here, and yeah, there could be better ways. This could be a bit more what do they say, this roundabout way of doing it.